Hey there everyone, this is Park from Team Shockwave, and today I'll be commenting the matchup between these two archetypes from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX era, Volcanic and Crystal Beast. I'm glad to see that we're actually getting support for these two archetypes. Not really much support came out with these two archetypes from the GX era when they came out. There was like one or two support came out afterwards, but not really much to progress the archetype itself. Since we're having the new set coming out this weekend, I thought it was best to show the new support and what they can offer to the archetype. One thing I want to mention is that we're not going to get any of the Crystal Piece support just because they're OCG exclusive. So we're going to only get the Volcanic, which very disappointing because like we didn't get any of the new Gaga or Galaxy support. And since those cards are being played by the main protagonist, I think that those cards are going to be released in those special yearly 10s. But back to the matchup. What you see here is myself and Danny Rodriguez. You might know him as the Volcanic guy that actually played in the tournament a while back. He also did Zombies. He also did the Time Lord deck. Danny was excited to hear that I was going to get the new support for Volcanics, and he really wanted to take part of this video. And I was more than happy to have him on board with this video because I think he is the best guy for him to play the Volcanic, or the only guy. So the trap card you see right there is basically the only support that Volcanic got. And it's a continuous trap that allows you to send one Volcanic card from your hand to the graveyard, and then you can draw a card. Second effect is basically you can banish this card from the graveyard to send one Volcanic card to the grave from your deck. And a third effect is basically this card is counted as Tri-Blaze Accelerator while it's face up. This is a great card. It allows you to dump unwanted dead cards from your hand to the grave, at the same time allow you to draw a card. And Danny taught me this combo that you actually could use Laval Chain to stack a monster on top of your deck, and then activate its effect to send one card from your grave to draw one card and get it right away. And he did it a lot of times in our trial games, especially getting the Volcanic Doomfire, which it was annoying to get rid of, especially against the Crystal Beast. Not only that this card brings consistency to your deck, but it also gives offensive and defensive as well, in the name of now this deck can be played with Volcanic Scattershot. If you're not familiar with Scattershot's effect, it's basically when this card is sent to the graveyard through a Blaze Accelerator effect, you're able to send the other two copies from your deck or hand to the graveyard, and then you can perform a Rogeki on your opponent's side of the field. This is amazing that this one card can do so much, not only for yourself, but to your opponents as well. But enough about the Blaze Accelerator, let's go back to the actual match going on right now. So, as you can see, I allowed the Phoenix Wing Blast to go through. I didn't want to negate it because I really want that Ruby back in my back row. But he saw my plan, so he decided to attack the face down instead. You might say that I shouldn't have put down that face down monster, but then again, I didn't want to risk him summoning up, special summon another big monster, say his Volcanic Doomfire, and burn me for game just like what he did right now. But fortunately enough, I did have the Rainbow Ruin to negate his effects, and I decided just to get rid of the Ruby Carbuncle since my back row is full. Afterwards, I just summoned another Cobalt and just attack for game. So we're in game 2, and I played Pile the Rally, revealing one of the new Crystal Piece support, and it's a Pendulum monster. So that monster acts like a Colute when it's just a normal monster. Basically, its effect is that when my Crystal Beast battling another monster, I can tribute this card from the field or hand to double my Crystal Beast's original attack, but at the end of the damage step, that Crystal Beast gets destroyed. So there's a pro and con between the two, and its pendulum effect is that when my Crystal Beasts are getting destroyed, I can prevent it from being destroyed one time per turn. It's a very interesting card. I only played one of it in this build right here. I believe that card is called Crystal Defender, and it actually looked like Jesse from the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX series. Now I just play Crystal Vanguard, and it's basically if I choose this card on the field, I'm able to get any monster or spell or trap card that has crystals in the name, or add a rainbow or dark rainbow dragon from my deck to my hand. It's very good, and as you can see here, since it's a pendulum monster, Instead of going to the graveyard from the field, it's sent to the extra deck face up instead. It's so if you're not familiar with the Pendulum Zone or Pendulum monsters, that's basically the mechanic to it. I know it's hard to tell from the view of the camera, but the Crystal Vanguard looks like Evil Jessie from the TV series. So I really like that they're paying homage to the TV series of the 2 Jessie version. As you can see here, Danny is succeeding with the Volcanic Rocket that he didn't special summon with Summoner Monk during this turn. But I'm going to choose to ignore it because it doesn't really matter. But I know some players are going to be rule sharking that play. You can't even tap with it because you got it with Summoner Monk. So Danny is acceding to Evolve Chain using his stacking abilities to put Doomfire on top. But since he already activated Magazine's effect, he's not able to get it this turn. So when Danny declares an attack, I activate my Crystal Horde, another new support for the Crystal Beast archetype. And the effect is basically when my Crystal Beast is destroyed, I'm able to special summon another Crystal Beast from my deck to the field, but I only can activate that part of the effect once returned. And the second part of the effect is that I can send this card to the grave and target 1 Crystal Beast I control and 1 card my opponents control, return those cards back to our hands. So it's basically like a Scrap Dragon, but instead of destroying, it returns. It has some beneficial effects to it. Ideally, I usually return Pegasus back to my hands just so I can reuse the effect later on. So the life points are very close, not really much of a difference, but what I learned about playing against Volcanic, they like to play close to the chest when it comes to life points. And then when your life point is low enough, they'll burn you for game. So I acceded into Corganite thinking that it's a safer play. If he had compulsory, I can just return one of his monsters. I think the only thing that could really fuck me up when to get into the XC play was either Boundless or Solemn Warning. I'm not too sure if he activated that already. But unfortunately, he actually summoned his Fire Storm Guard, and it's basically a Potter Abyss for him, and allow him to recycle all those monsters that he has sent to the graveyard back to his deck and keep on reusing them, especially Shell. Shell is actually the ammunition for Magazine to keep on consistently dumping cards to the grave as well as drawing what he needs. So Danny's actually special summoned his Volcanic Doomfire for the first time in this match, but unfortunately I did have the Silent Advice to stop his special summon. And the reason why I play Silent Advice over like Silent Warning or anything like that, because it seems like Silent Advice is more universal to anything I would like to get rid of in the form of like problematic cards. 3,000 is quite pricey to pay for this kind of card, but you know what? I think I can take the risk just because I have Rainbow Ruin, and Rainbow Ruin has multiple effects that actually could help me defend myself for a bit. You know, the taking half the damage, negating spells and traps, special summoning a monster, and even draw a card. So I really think it was a good tech card to play just because I saw someone else that actually used it in their Crystal Beast and said, you know what, let me try this and see how it actually works. So I activate Soul Charge so I can special summon my 2 Pegasus back to the field and try to activate the other last 2 effects of Rainbow Ruin, but Danny had the Solemn Warning, and I did drew the Crystal Abundance this turn, so I really did need that so I can get rid of all that shit off Danny's field and actually go for game, but I guess that's not the case. So I summoned my Crystal Beast trying to attack to one of his monster, but Danny was very suspicious of my moves, so he did play smart in Book of Moon, but I don't know why he didn't use Utopia's effect to negate it instead. I'm not too sure if he knows that I have the Crystal Abundance in my hand, or he's just being cautious from this point. So my plan here is basically have him attack my face down monster and then use Rainbow Rune's effect to take half the damage wherever he sends out, so I can last for the next turn. But unfortunately that's not the case here, where he's just going to activate his trap card to burn me full damage of Blaster's effect. Now we're in game 3 and Danny's having a good start, summoning his rocket so he can get the magazine right away. So I summoned my Summoner Monk, trying to get into Pegasus and then exceeding to rank 4, but he had that silent warning, so my plans was fucked up from there. So in my upcoming turn, I drew something that I never had in my hand before, and that was the 2 Pendulum Monster I could use to Pendulum Summon. So out of curiosity, I did it just to see the potential it could provide to this deck. As I mentioned before, the Pendulum Monster on my left prevent any targeting of my Crystal Beasts or my Rainbow Dragons, and the one on the right prevent them from being destroyed once returned. This is a very interesting setup I have here for myself, but unfortunately Danny did have the MST to get rid of one of my Pendulum Monster. So Danny attacked my Crystal Beast, but fortunate enough I did have the Crystal Horde set down. I know some of you guys might notice that I still have that Pendulum Monster on the Pendulum scale right now that prevents my Crystal Beast from being destroyed once returned, but I think it's best for me just to build up field presence instead of just preventing one of my monsters being destroyed, and hopefully draw a monster or anything else to help me progress field presence to this game. So my field looking pretty good so far, but I really do need Rainbow Ruin as soon as possible so I can build the defense. So I dropped Rogeki, and now I'm trying to plan on going on the defense with this. But first I want to clear some of his back rows just so I'm not too worried about when I go and attack with it. I do have that Pendulum Monster on my right prevented from being destroyed, so I'm not really worried about like Transfer Tribute or Boundless Trap Hole. Whatever he has in his back row, it seems like it's not doing anything to stop my attack. So that's pretty much for the video. Thank you again, Danny, for helping us out. If you guys like the result, please like, comment, subscribe. If you guys want deck profile of these decks, please leave a comment down below or click on the like button. This is Parker from Team Shockwave signing out.